We're going to see the legal version of this awesome, crazy drama. It involves emiru and Mizkif. Let's get it going. Here we go. It's so nice to see Legal Mindset back. Check out Legal Mindset, by the way. Awesome guy. W Legal Mindset. Ooh, he's got a new intro. Very nice.
Emiru versus Mizkif. There are giant allegations, some of which could be criminal, as we investigate this streamer-on-streamer battle. Of course, Legal Mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. This is the Fast Facts version of the latest in legal news. If you like the Fast Facts, if you like the format, make sure to like the video and leave a comment below. So let's jump right into it today with this, which is a highly requested topic with massive legal implications. Could be the streaming court case that I think might even go.
Please stream this. I will happily react to this live. Please.
Beyond the Ethan Klein versus Frogan and Denims and Casey Tron, although that's a pretty crazy one as well. But this one is more personal.
Big boy, show us your big PP. Let's go.
Interesting and so fascinating, albeit in a unfortunate way. So let me start with some disclaimers, of course, in my PP, my PowerPoint. First of all, I do not know these people. One of the fortunate things about being outside of the streamer bubble, which I pretty much define as the American streamers that pretty much all hang out. The advantage of listening to, right? And this is the important
I'm not trying to be mean to you, Mr. Legal Mindset. I'm trying to get this video up in under 10 because I have to edit all my videos out. So please don't take offense to this. Don't strike my channel, please. Please don't strike my channel. But don't take offense to this. I've got to fast forward it because I've got like a set time here.
One of these, hearing one of these things going down is a grippers. And in this, streamers are kind of weird. It's who is guilty by chance. I don't know. I have a bullshit on top of that. So let's talk about Emmy first. I watched all of these videos. I sat today and watched all 3 hours of videos, including Asmongold's reaction to them.
We did cover them live, and we did react to them live on stream. Not her stream, but we reacted to Asmon the full hour, and then the Mizkif one for a full hour. So
shout out to the Roach King.
Roach King!
Her presentation once again was very credible, and she also brought some receipts. She had the text messages, which was much more credible than the evidence that was brought by Mizkif.
Mizkif's was a joke. I'm sorry, bro. And then he said that he would be leaking stuff. I've yet to see anything new.
Showing some random video of what could be any single rabbit's enclosure, or not even a rabbit. It could be another animal. Who knows? There was no rabbit in the actual video. That is very questionable. And it certainly does not, quote unquote, prove anything. And proving stuff online and social media really doesn't get you any points if you get hit with a restraining order, if you get with criminal, certain criminal sanctions, criminal penalties might happen there, or civil liability. That's not going to protect you. So I think she did a good job of presenting it. I know it was troubling. I know she was sick. But overall presentation.
She did also sit down with the lawyer and Asmon and write out what she was going to say and do with the lawyer. So, everything she's doing, it was completely legal.
Emmy was good. So what are the main allegations in the criminal stuff and civil stuff I focused on? First, there's blackmail and coercion. So that is the aspect where if you go and speak out about a relationship, which is at the key here, and say bad things, etc., I am going to drop the rabbits. And we're going to get into the rabbits when we get into Mizkif.
What's crazy is that what Mizkif should have said is, I will sue you for defamation. Because instead of her, because if she threatened to go out, talk about the relationship, and he shouldn't have said anything about rabbits, he should have said, I hope you've got a lot to back that up, because if you don't, I'm going to sue you for defamation. That's what she should be more worried about, not the rabbits.
But I'm going to coerce you into not speaking. This is a problem for several reasons. One of which, once again,
a lot of people are like, well, what can I do to this person? And if they're ruining your ability and you've got a job where your reputation depends on it like this, kind of like what Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, sue for defamation. Don't use blackmail. Blackmail is illegal.
These people were coworkers working at the same, under the same umbrella. There's a lot of issues when you're trying to coerce and blackmail a coworker. This can become a broader workplace issue. We know OSHA, right, guys? Real easy to submit that OSHA report. Not looking good on that, especially in Texas, under Texas law. There's also under Texas law, assault family violence. Now, understand this is domestic assault in Texas. That's how they brand it. And remember, assault is not actually striking somebody. It's actually just causing fear of imminent harm. So,
and battery is touching somebody when they don't want you to touch them. I had to learn that in EMT. So just keep that in mind.
By punching holes in the wall and by doing other acts of violence, that could be construed as assault family violence. Once again, you don't need to be married for that. You can be a roommate, a boyfriend, etc. In Texas, that can fly. Now, there could also be sexual assault, maybe. Now, I'm very careful about this because we are, of course, in a, I don't want to say post-Me Too era, but I want to be very, very, very clear. We have at this point, a he said, she said story.
Yes.
Very difficult to prove those and very difficult to litigate those.
And I'd like to make that very clear. These are all allegations up to and until either a conviction or a court date. Neither one of those has been done yet. So at this point, this is just internet drama. So don't think too hard on it unless there are court dates.
Also, based on the factors, it seemed like, there was consent at one point, which was withdrawn. Potential, could it be essay? Yes, it could be. Could a court look at that and say that's not essay? Also possible, right? So both of those scenarios, very, very possible there. But she could still try. She could still try to bring that claim, and I adjudicated guilty.
She has to be careful, though, emiru, because if she tries to bring that to court and the court finds that as not being SA, and he countersues for defamation, she would automatically lose that because of that. So, this is pretty much going to be a stalemate, simply out of, do you really have enough evidence to think that you can say that it was SA?
On emotional distress, it seems to have a real serious order, and that's good. It's just his physical presence, more maybe not, is a police. This could be what was key to her testimony, what was key to her talking about, not testimony yet, but her statements. Her statements were, I was streaming this, I was playing a tank in WoW, or I was streaming this. They're dating, there were coworkers, right? Seems problematic, something legally. Dating, there were coworkers, right? Working under the same umbrella legally. There you go. I mean, once again, seems problematic, a reason why you don't date your coworkers. These sort of things will happen with any relationship that's botched. And let me just mention that
I've stuck by that since day one, since I as long as I could remember. Don't date coworkers. Don't do that. You are asking for trouble. You are.
Majority of relationships fail. So once you factor into the majority of relationships, just dating casually, are going to fail. You are gambling on a game that you're going to lose. It's a stupid thing to do.
It is.
Listen, have people done stupid things? Yes. Have people dated coworkers in the past? Yes. Look,
it's like what with Hassan. You realize that all the people that went in that Hassan video that were screaming, "Wake up, Ethan," most of them have been ruined now. It's just like that. You can't just, especially whenever it comes to the internet, most of the friends that you think you have on the internet as a streamer, they're coworkers. If you can all get along, we can make one hell of a great place to work. But if we're all at each other's throats, it's going to be bumpy.
Over here saying it doesn't happen. But what I'm saying is it's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea. Beyond that, you could also do a civil lawsuit. And that's the thing I think would be most fruitful. Now, defamation might be difficult because you have to expose everything. And that's why I don't push defamation right away. I don't think Emmy should jump to defamation. I think she should start with something else like filing a police report, a workplace claim, or IIED, intentional infliction of emotional distress. With that, you're going to be able to go after Mizkif. You're going to be able to get his
Mizkif would be able to file for defamation, not Emmy.
Messages, text messages, etc., depose people that talk to him. I think that would be a smarter move than perhaps going after defamation, but it's up to her and her lawyers and what they decide. Now let's talk about Mizkif over here and this lovely, lovely fellow. I found that what he did was soulless and really just
Yes,
reading
sir.
off a statement that obviously was prepared. He admitted that, but was not screened, filtered, or really.
I would like to point this out because I don't know if he's aware of this. The notebook that Emmy had in her hand also was the same thing. They both had statements. So, like, you can't really fault him for having a statement already drawn up or on his computer. Emmy had one too.
Considered harshly. Throwing
Now,
a
I don't like the idea of this human being on the internet, but if there is a chance that this is a form of defamation, it's pretty scummy.
or a blanket is
I don't
not gonna
watch
get
Mizkif. I don't watch emiru. I don't really have any biased opinion in this. That's the reason why my stance is currently fence sitting, because, like, I'm not gonna lie, Emmy's stuff is very, very condemning, and I would believe her over what Mizkif has, because Mizkif really hasn't released shit. I'm sorry. You're cooked, bro. You should have been collecting evidence, but I get it that you probably didn't because you didn't think to do so, but man, you got to learn how to fuck off. You're just something else, brother.
girl hit with a assault charge or a battery charge. I'm sorry. That's not going to come to counter punching a wall, right? Those are not equivalent things. And perhaps I'm a little bit more hardened by this, growing up in South Florida, having one or two sandals thrown at me at some point, the chancleta. But that said, a plushie is not going to be that critical hit that takes you out. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know how soft you are, or how much soy you've had for dinner, but that is not
bro, he just called Mizkif a soy boy.
going to get a police officer in Texas to go slap some cuffs on Emmy and drag her to the police station. That's not going to happen. And the fact that he thought his big bullet, his silver bullet, was those rabbits, is a joke. Now, animal cruelty is a crime. And so the thing he messed up on is he's accused her of a crime. So if she did not do that, that is clear defamation. So Emmy now has a claim, in addition to the IAD, a clear defamation case, saying, hey, you are now accusing me of a crime, animal cruelty, right? Killing the rabbits, right? That is not okay. And here's my thing for Mizkif. Mizkif, bro, if you are so dead set on saying the rabbits are a problem, why didn't you report it to animal control or the local, whatever the local authority is that oversees animal safety and health in your region, right? We talked about Hassan, Collargate. We all know about Collargate.
Collargate!
And I helped out on Twitter, on X. I put out the information to big deal, bro. You just want to talk about it for internet clout. You just want to get people on your side. You want to bring up, your mental health as a defense, which isn't reminds those that have legitimate mental health conditions. And it seems he may have even inflicted Emmy with a mental health condition, which would strengthen her IIED claim. So he really hasn't reported it. And beyond that, if it was under his roof, he might also be liable for it. So that is not really
it matters if he's liable for it, because if there are criminal charges, they could both catch them. Or usually whenever it comes to animal cruelty, they block your ability to get more animals. So, like,
sense. So if you're keeping animals on your premise at an apartment or a house, and you are jointly leasing there, so that is not the illegal bombshell he thinks it is. I'm not saying she is. I'm just throwing out a hypothetical. If she was lying, then there would be a clear defamation case. Then he could clearly bring a defamation case. However, I don't think he wants all of the messages, text messages, emails, etc., to be obtained through subpoena if he deposes. If he files defamation. And I think this strategy of leaking information not only could constitute blackmail, but it's idiotic, it's childish, and once again, it's not official. None of this is actually official. It's just meant to try to destroy her character, destroy her reputation, which once again would just add to her damages if she ever tries to sue you, even for something.
Hold on. You can't say that about one party and not the other. So emiru did the same thing. She leaked messages during that stream where she talked about Mizkif. He did the same thing, though it's not as condemning, and it makes less sense. It's you can't hate, like, I don't like the guy. I don't. But at the same time, You can't not one side and not the other.
Something like IIED. In fact, leaking information to damage someone's reputation, especially very personal information, yeah, that very much could be considered intentional infliction of emotional distress. And so what I'm thinking with Mizkif and his absolute mockery of a counter is that you should be very concerned and lawyer up. And at this point, Emmy has a procedural, social, and evidentiary advantage based on what we've seen so far. Mizkif definitely needs a legal counter or he's in trouble. So at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Mizkif throw a lawsuit out there as a last-ditch gambit, as something...
A slap. That's what emiru said, is a slap suit. That's usually...
a slap lawsuit, etc. Throw out some sort of lawsuit, which may be dismissed as it's filed, but it still would be a measure to try to stop this or cut back on this. We'll see what happens with that. A restraining order by itself is not going to be enough to end this dispute, and it's not going to be enough to put this to bed. There needs to be some other sort of action that's taken against whoever is responsible, once again being fair and neutral, likely Mizkif, right? But we don't know right now. There needs to be some sort of action officially taken with the police, EOC, OSHA, civil lawsuits, something to close the chapter on this and to find out what exactly was going on and to get all those details out there. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think is in the right on this one?
I think Emmy's definitely in the right, but if there is even a chance that Mizkif isn't in the wrong, like, I'm going to be all for that. I've never been a big fan of Mizkif. I don't like him. I don't really like how he acts around people. Emmy. I've never really watched him, but I also don't want to get sued for defamation myself. I'm sure Mizkif is going to be like a flounder and flop around and hope that he can get something out of this, but I don't think it's going to work for him.